federal government just stop putting money into new roads? Here, in Canada, the second biggest landmass in the world. Well, that's what the Environment Minister literally said at an event this week. Unsurprisingly, it's caused a lot of confusion and concern.
As the population grows and the road network crumbles and there doesn't seem to be any expansion on the way, that's something that's very troubling. That really hits people where it matters most.
Now, he did try at least 3 times to clarify his comments after the uproar.
What we have said, and maybe I should have been more specific in the past, is that we don't have funds for large projects.
But every one of those clarifications left people, including politicians across the country, just more confused.
Why would you make a statement like that, is my question to the minister.
So let's go through it. Okay, let's start with what the Environment Minister Steven Guilbeault said, word for word, at an event in Montreal on Monday. Our government has made the decision to stop investing in new road infrastructure. No federal funding for new roads. That's a pretty bold statement. And according to the Montreal Gazette, at that same event, he also said money that in the past was regularly invested in asphalt and concrete for the ever-expanding road network is better invested into projects that will help fight climate change and adapt to its impacts. The reaction was quick.
The crazy carbon tax minister has done it again. This time, he's saying that the federal government is not going to support any new road construction.
Anyone who thinks that you can stop building roads has obviously not traveled outside of Montreal very much and doesn't understand how big this country is.
It would literally be terrible for every municipality in this nation.
And reporters had a lot of questions. Like, was this an official policy announcement? And where exactly did it come from?
What did you mean exactly when you said the government will not be funding roads?
That's not what I said.
Yes, it is.
Wait.
I can read it back to you.
What I have said is that the solutions to our transport challenge pass by many different things, including massive investment in public transit, including investment in electrification of transportation, and of course we're funding roads. We have programs to fund roads. What we have said, and maybe I should have been more specific in the past, is that we don't have funds for large projects.
Okay, so he says he actually meant no new funding for large road projects. Still, it wasn't really clear what that meant. So a few hours later,
when you said our government has made the decision to stop investing in new road infrastructure, what did you mean?
As I told your fine colleague, David, earlier, I said I should have been more specific, that I was talking to specifically about the project of the Troisième Lien, projects like that project that is being proposed in Quebec.
Okay, so no new funding for projects like this third link highway tunnel project in Quebec. Still pretty vague.
It wasn't clear what exactly he was referring to when he said, oh, actually, I meant to say only large roads. Well, what are large roads? Like, how do you characterize a large road? What sort of projects are we actually talking about?
Naturally, once Guilbeault said his comments were only about big builds, it brought up a lot of questions about future projects, because the federal government often contributes to large highway and road projects across the country. Just last year, for example.
Today's announcement with respect to the Trans-Canada Highway will twin sections of the highway in Newfoundland's Avalon and Central regions, making it safer and more reliable for commuters.
$150 million in federal funding to help Newfoundland expand the Trans-Canada Highway. So what is it about that one road project in Quebec Guilbeault was talking about that doesn't meet the threshold for federal funds? And what does that mean for projects like this new Toronto area highway proposed by the Ontario government? Or this proposed highway in Alberta that MPs have requested federal funding for? All of that ambiguity put provincial leaders on edge.
These comments have obviously made a lot of us very nervous that they're not going to be the partner for us.
Ontario's premier also weighed in, tweeting, "I'm gobsmacked. We're building roads and highways with or without assent from the feds." Guilbeault's office then tried to further clarify his remarks, telling CBC this isn't an official government decision. There are no changes to federal policy. By the end of the day, even the Prime Minister tried to set the record straight.
Once again, the Minister has clarified his remarks. Our government's approach to investing in trade corridors and roads that Canadians rely on has not changed since 2015.
He's touted their record on other infrastructure projects like the Champlain Bridge in Montreal, the Gordie Howe Bridge that's under construction in Windsor. He spoke about other projects that are underway. So he tried to tell voters, don't necessarily take Guilbeault's word.
But just to remind you, in his original comment, Guilbeault did say it was a government decision.
Guilbeault's comments, they tried to characterize them as out of context, but really he had lengthy remarks about this. He's clearly thought about this before, and he had several minutes of a soliloquy about how the federal government should not be involved in road construction moving forward. So it wasn't really taken out of context. That's not a fair characterization.
We know from the reporting in the Montreal Gazette that Guilbeault offered justification for his comments made during the event for why no new road funding was needed. He said, "The analysis we have done is that the network is perfectly adequate to respond to the needs we have. We can very well achieve our goals of economic, social, and human development without more enlargement of the road network." And it's unclear what analysis he's referring to there, especially since the government's own website says more roads are needed to keep Canada's trade routes competitive. Current trade and transportation infrastructure is not sufficient to meet the needs of the future, it says. Adding, with other countries looking at investing substantially in their domestic transportation infrastructure, Canada is at risk of falling behind should it fail to make its own investments. And for a country with one of the fastest growing populations in the world and a government that's heavily investing in electric vehicles,
it did raise a lot of eyebrows because we will need to see some sort of road expansion in some parts of the country, even while investing in public transit, even while encouraging active transit in areas where it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people who actually study these issues to say that the road network we have right now is perfectly adequate and it doesn't need to be added to. That just doesn't jive with reality.
Even Guilbeault's own colleagues agree.
EVs got to drive on something, you know, and they drive on roads. So we will be involved in roads, as we always have been. There's no change in policy.
So now the question becomes, if Guilbeault didn't actually mean what he said, why would he say it? And so definitively. His critics argue this was actually a moment when the veil dropped.
It was seen by some people as the minister saying the quiet part out loud, that maybe this is what the government actually believes, but they haven't really enunciated it like that. And maybe there will not be massive road expansion, even though we're dealing with congestion, even though we're dealing with a huge population boom.
The fact that all of this came from Guilbeault, in particular, may be partly why this struck such a chord with the opposition.
The Environment Minister has once again demonstrated how tone-deaf he is on anything to do with environmental issues.
Well, I think if it came from any other minister, it might not have been such a big story, because the opposition Conservatives, some of the Conservative premiers in this country, like Doug Ford and Danielle Smith, have spent months, years, branding Guilbeault as an out-of-touch liberal elitist from downtown Montreal who really does not understand what regular people go through in this country. To hear someone like this say, that's it, we're not investing in roads anymore, it didn't go over well with a lot of people.
So whether or not this was just a communication error or a signal of what may be to come, with an election scheduled only a year and a half away, the damage could already be done.